in Leviticus, there is a phrase that pops up fairly repeatedly, which is a pleasing aroma to the Lord. What does that mean? It actually means a couple of things, but it comes off kind of jarring at first if you're like me when I was 10 years old and you see that it appears after all of these blood sacrifices, and in the back of your mind you're like, how could any of that be a pleasing aroma? Well, understanding first the human context, what we're talking about is that actually it's post-sacrifice, and it is the smell of cooking meat and fat and all of these other things, which, if you are not a vegetarian, you know smells pretty good. Of course, we're not simply talking about the actual smell of meat here. There is a deeper symbolic implication that comes with this phrase, a pleasing aroma to the Lord. This phrase is used mostly in the sense of the cooking of meat, which is part of these sin sacrifices. And if we understand what's really going on here with the smell being pleasing to the Lord, we're talking about a sacrifice that is meant to pay for someone's sin. This is justice, it is atonement, and it is something that God really wants. What's actually really pleasing about this is not the smell, but it's actually God's sense of justice, which honestly sounds kind of funny if you think about it as God likes the smell of justice. It sounds almost like Batman-esque, but this is really what's going on in that moment, is God is pleased with the scent of justice. He's pleased with the fact that these sacrifices are being offered to him. And of course, there's also the specific burning of fat, which at the time was considered the choicest part of meat and also considered to smell the most delicious when it was cooked. So there's another aspect on top of this of God enjoying the fact that the first fruits, which are the fat in this case, are being given directly to him. So between the smell of meat actually being cooked, the scent of justice, and the aroma of giving your first and your best to God, this phrase actually makes a lot more sense than it might seem at first. But let me know what you think, and I will see you next week.